Rahab Kige is a lady, born again, a mother of 2 beautiful, handsome young men, and I call myself an entrepreneur. So basically that's it. First of all, I want to start by saying that my parents have never been employees. So about looking forward to working and becoming a corporate person has never been within my circles. And during our age, almost everybody wanted to become an accountant. So when I finished my high school, I definitely enrolled to be an accountant, even before we could have joined, before I joined campus. And let me say, as I was in my campus doing CPAs and also my degree, I still was a hustler, so to speak, because I was an accountant at Kitengela Hospital. I used to do their books. Immediately after campus, just before I could secure a job, I also, together with my friend called Maina, hello Maina, if you're watching this, we started a college of teaching accountancy in Kitengela, and we used to call ourselves Shaina's School of Accountancy, which was doing actually very well. We had almost about 30 students within a very short duration, but because we still had the dream of being employed and looking nice and waking up in the morning and being asked, where do you work? And you want to say a big corporate name, we closed down and went to be employed. He went to become an accountant somewhere, and I also went to become an accountant somewhere. I never got any fulfillment wherever I used to work. I felt I needed a lot of freedom. But then for me, working in a corporate institution was a very good milestone, like a stepping stone, because there are some skills that you're trained when you're working elsewhere that you can never learn on the job. So at first I started doing sales for Safaricom. I've never wanted to be enclosed in an office. So I eventually went to work for JICA and our project. And as I was doing that project, it exposed me to very many things. And I felt, after that, I don't want to be employed anymore. When I was 17, I had told God how long I wanted to work as an employee. And when I saw that age was approaching, I had to quit. And after quitting, I went, of course, through a lot of hardship, because it was a do or die. I keep on telling my workers, I don't think I have reached a level where I'm earning the much that I still used to earn there. Looking at the salary that I'm still. So I never quit because of desperation. One of the things that employment does, and I always recommend if someone quits school, it's always good to go down and get employed somewhere. Because number one, discipline is only instilled there. Remember, when you go to self-employment, you're the one who is reporting to yourself. So that discipline of waking up early, making sure that you have an itinerary of what you're planning to do the whole day, making sure that you have a target of what you want to achieve, ensuring that your interrelationship with people, you're humbled to a level where you have to report to someone. So even when you come to relate to other people as the boss, you already understand how you're supposed to relate with people, how to work as a team, teamwork, very important. And also appreciating skills, appreciating different people have different skills, different capacities, and different expertise. So it makes you well equipped when you come now to the self-employment on how you're going to handle different aspects, whether it's suppliers, whether it's customers, whether it's your workers, the banks, everything. That you can only learn in the corporate arena. The first entrepreneurship I tried was chicken farming. And I remember I took my worker to Kari, now it's called Carlo, and they paid for them to be taught and bought everything, did it professionally. And then I remember one day my worker told me that he needed a break. So I said, take one of the chicken to the vet. And when the doctor looked at it, told me, Rehab, look for a place where you're going to bury them in 4 days. They'll be dead in 4 days. I had invested a lot of money and I had worked on them for 6 months. They had started laying, I'd started looking for market. Remember, we were doing organic. So organic is very expensive. So Yeah, and from that day, I didn't give up. I decided now to try the farm. I said, these are alive. Let me try now the farm. I did some onions, but I couldn't get market. And so I decided to hang my coat on farming. I realized I'm not a farmer. It was very discouraging. All my savings went down the drain. I was very frustrated. Remember, people knew you up there. Now you're down here and doing very badly. And psychologically, it's very demotivating. But then I have a heart that never gives up. I knew I've tried this, has failed. I've tried this other one, has failed. The third one might work. If it doesn't work, I still will continue trying, like Winston Churchill. No giving up. No, when you're at your lowest moment, you actually keep to yourself, because whoever is going to come your way is going to remind you where you were and start making you feel like Egypt was better. Now you're in the desert. So I kept to myself a lot. I used to hang around very few people, but I never used to tell them what I'm going through. I didn't want anybody who was going to try and make me feel like I had made a wrong move to quit the corporate world. Yeah. After the onions failed, I decided to be a kienyeji farmer. So whatever grew in the farm had to be sold. And I remember I used to park my car along Kiambu Road and open the boot and sell the produce to people. So this time around, I'll have a few onions. Next time, I'll have maize. I tried bananas. It was quite humiliating, but I made it. And in the course of me selling them, that place is when I thought, why not start another business? Why not do something to do with FMCG? Try something. And one of my sisters I used to hang around one of my sisters who had a similar enterprise. And during that period, I felt in my heart, what if I tried, but not with competition with them, but on my own location? And remember, the farming that I wanted to do was in Naivasha. So I decided, why not move to Naivasha? And so I moved to Naivasha, beginning of the year 2018, and started humbly Altis zero expert. I didn't train in it, but I have a very serious appetite for beautiful and nice homes. Well, the moment I decided this is what I want, I have actually done a lot of research. A lot. I want to say I am self-trained. I have done a lot of training, a lot of research, a lot of visiting places to see what's up. I'm very interested in the current technologies. So this is what makes me happy. One of my bankers who knew me long ago decided to risk and give me a small loan. With that small loan and with a lot of ignorance, I was conned the loan. And so the shop started with nothing. And I was very depressed. At some point, I had actually gotten extremely depressed when I realized that I had been conned the loan. Remember, it's a loan. But I also remember that in the course of praying and looking for money and everything, God sent me an angel. And the reason why I call that person an angel is because I don't understand how. Someone can walk into your shop and tell you, have this money. I remember the first stack of money he gave me was 50,000, said, I'm going to come and buy goods from your shop. So he gave me 50. 2 days later, he walked in, gave me another 50. A week later, or maybe within that 1 week, he gave me 200,000. And he told me he's going to come for his products. I came for those goods 6 months later. So I want to say God sent me an angel and gave me capital of 200,000 shillings. My mother, on the other hand, through whatever sources she used, also gave me some bit of financing, and I'm forever grateful. And that is what started Altis. How you deal with customers, how you treat them, how you handle what they give you. The customers trusted us because I didn't have stocks. For 200,000 in hardware is pocket change. So what customers were ordering, I had already obtained rapport with different suppliers. So I used to send the vehicle very fast to get the goods and then come and supply the customers. When you supply the first one and they see you're okay, The second one, God's grace and them coming together. You realize people are coming and leaving you deposits. So I remember there's actually one person who came and gave us a deposit of 1 million shillings and said we can supply the goods. So you use their capital, their money as your capital to go and buy for them goods. And the little profit that you make, plow it back into the business. You're not taking anything from that business. I never took any salary from my business for about 2 years. Two things. Number one, transforming people's homes and making them and looking at how happy they are that you have given them nice things. That gives a lot of satisfaction. Whenever you go and your name is associated with something that is looking good, you feel happy. The second thing is when you see that you're making an impact as an individual. Because when I see my workers getting transformed from how they were to what they are today, and when I see the many people who are depending on Altis for their daily bread, there is no greater satisfaction than that. There are some pillars that we hold very dearly as Altis. The first one is quality. I said construction is not cheap. If you see someone owning a house, no matter how small it is, just know it has taken so much effort for that person to have a home. Like if you look at the statistics in Kenya, so many people are homeless. They have not built any homes. And the nature of the products that we are selling here are for permanent houses. The first pillar is quality. You must make sure that you give the people the quality that they deserve for the value of money that they are giving you. The second pillar is efficiency. When someone walks into the shop and they need products and you have made promises, we try as much as possible to make sure that we are efficient in delivering the needs of that customer. And the other thing that we ensure is we price our products favorably. Like now, the purchasing power has gone very low this year. So we make sure that we reduce our margins so that we can be able to accommodate everybody. And finally, variety, so that we can accommodate those the high and mighty, but still we can accommodate the lowly, someone who just wants to finish a decent home and doesn't want very expensive products. So we make sure that we undertake all those things. And of course, the final pillar that we hold is customer service. We want to make sure that when you walk into our shops, you'll see a difference by the way you're treated, by the way you're handled, by the expertise of the people who are serving you. And so those are the pillars that we hold to make sure that our customers are happy and they're comfortable and they will feel they need to come back to our outlets. Brother Mangit, your dreaming is free. It's free. And so the sky is always the limit. When we did our first shop, we were really small. It was very hard for me to convince the suppliers to trust us, even with any credit. And I remember I struggled with some of them for 2 years. They couldn't believe that we are anything to go by, because remember our capital base was so small, and so we struggled. But the moment they saw the drive that we have and the difference that we have with other shops, we first of all secured distributorship in Naivasha. And the moment we secured distributorship, they felt the need for us to have a presence inside the town in Naivasha. And that was our first branch in Naivasha town. And then immediately after that, we realized from our customer base and our database that many people were coming from Eburu, others were coming from Gilgil, St. Mary's, all the way to Naivasha to get our products. And so we kept on sending products there. And when we did our market survey, we did our business plan in Gilgil, we felt we had a space, there was a gap. And so we started our Gilgil shop in 2022. And it has been operating and it has been performing very well. And customers are happy. There was lack of variety, and that is what was bringing customers to our shop. There was lack of quantities in the other shops, and so on and so forth. Then after that, last year, I drove here very many times, Mangito in Yahururu. And I was just coming to survey and see, because there must be room for growth. God is a God of growth. Yes. And the Bible says, enlarge your tents, strengthen your stakes, then let the Lord bless you. So I drove here many times. I don't even tell people where I'm going. I just come, look around, do my own assessment, see whether there is need or there is none. And I speak with, of course, our distributors. We are always in communication with them and tell them, this is my dream, this is my hope. What do you think? They also send their team. They will also give you the statistics of the area. They tell you whether there is a gap for you or how they will support you as well, because you can't walk alone. You will not go very far. So once they okay your dream, now you're motivated to come and actualize it. And so December last year, I remember when everybody was going for Christmas, I was here doing this construction for 3 weeks without going home, 3 weeks. And it was quite tasking, but we made it, and we were able to officially inaugurate this branch in April. And look what the Lord has done. I'd like to talk about the ups, and I'll talk about the downs. The up part of it is the taste of women is better than men. It's God given. That's why we normally say men are blind when it comes to colors. It's not me who said that. But the taste of women is when it comes to designing and such kind of things. And so that is a plus for us. The other thing about a woman that is different from men is that we are normally very focused on one thing. Like a woman, that's the reason why we say when a woman gets a child, they focus straight to that child. The child is not talking, but a woman can tell that child is sick. There is an intuition that women have, and we thank God for it because He gave us free of charge. God given, which makes you see things in a deeper light than the gentleman. But then there are also serious downs. We are not as strong as men. I know there are feminists who might argue with me, but we are not as strong as men. When it comes to handling some deals, we become sometimes overly emotional. Also, our emotions are higher than men. We are also very empathetic. So many times we lose because someone has come crying out to you and you give them goods on loan, but they disappear with the goods. So because we are so empathic, we are also equally not trusted a lot when it comes to this field that we are in. And someone is going to look at you and wonder, are you sure of what you're saying? Mijengo ngapi? But so that's a downside. And also it comes to challenges, especially when you're an employer and you're employing people who are older than you and they are men. They still look at you as a woman. And it's very hard for you to sometimes deal with some challenges when it comes to staff. So we ensure that we give our staff a conducive environment to work in. The managers respect the juniors respect their supervisors, so that work can be able to flow. And I'm also not a commander. I work with them in their level. The third thing that we do to our staff is, of course, you must compensate them for what they do for you. So that whenever they will feel motivated to come to work because you're equally giving them a proper compensation. And I want to encourage every woman because we have been gifted by God. The society has accepted us. Mothers, we are mothers. We mother the world. Come on board. This field is easy. It's not complicated. People will trust us and we will be able to go far. Don't get scared. Come on board.